right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. The other day I had an email, Robin. And it was a lady. She's writing a book. And she was asking about the fundraiser that you and I did to raise money for the Literacy Council.
Yes.
And just for the sake of anybody who didn't hear about what we did, we were able to raise $12,000. Thank you to our donors.
Yes, for sure.
And the way we did it was I had this big roll of paper. It was 50-something feet long. And I said, I'm going to draw people's faces on this thing, and we're going to call this Drawing a Crowd. And so people would pay a certain amount of money, $10. And I say a certain amount because we were asking for 10, but they were giving more than 10, which is good. So I would draw people's faces, and I didn't know how successful it was going to be. But the point is, lots of people liked the idea. Lots of people sent in money and asked and photographs so that I could draw their pictures on this long piece of paper.
Yeah, it was wonderful, too.
And the lady writing the book said, well, so you draw the pictures. I said, but don't give me all the credit. I said, because if it wasn't for Robin, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with the money. I wouldn't have been able to keep up with who went next. I wouldn't have been able to keep up with where the pictures were that I was going to work on. All the communication, if something was wrong with the picture, all the communication with the people that were participating, it goes on and on and on. Organizational skills are not something I am good at, and they are something you are really good at.
Thank you.
Well, and you helped me keep my eye on the prize. The prize was, to raise the most money. We were in competition with other people. And it was a really great learning experience that can be applied to anything. And guess what? Carrie Williams wrote a book. And as I'm looking through the book, I'm thinking, wow, this is great information, because you know what we learned. And P.S., we did not win the competition, but we came in second place.
Yes, we did. We came in second.
And as far as keeping an eye on the prize, I think we did pretty good. Carrie Williams is a professional certified leadership coach. Gosh, too bad she wasn't here when we were doing this.
Oh, yeah.
We could have. I don't know what she would have said differently. She's a facilitator, the founder of Rain Shadow Coaching, which helps professionals and companies focus on professional success, personal growth, overall well-being. It's an honor. Good morning, Carrie Williams. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
The subtitle of your book, A Kick-Ass Guide to Setting and Achieving Great Goals. And great is an acronym for something, so I'm going to ask you what that means. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
Los Angeles. I'm over on the West Coast.
Now, that is a city filled with people with a goal. Right?
It is. It's filled with people with dreams, and the streets are paved with gold. So if you're willing to work hard, there are people who will invest and support your dream.
Do you know what I wonder, though? I wonder how successful people are when they follow somebody else's clues. Like, you always hear that. Success leaves clues. But then you always hear that the people who really succeed, especially in show business, kind of figured out something on their own that made them unique.
Yeah, it's really tough out here because I work with a lot of folks in the entertainment industry, and when I work with actors, they tend to walk in the door and say, just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it were that easy, we'd all be super wealthy supermodels.
Yeah. So tell me about the book and your work in general. How does this take your place? Like, how can I use a book and replace my coach? I don't want to replace my coach, by the way, but...
Well, I'm just excited that you have a coach, so congratulations on that. But there are people who don't have access to a coach or aren't mentally ready to work with a coach. They still think that they can do it on their own.
Yeah.
And I want to support that. So I wrote Eyes on the Prize as a tool, so they have a coach in their pocket. They can take them with them. It's a partial workbook and reading book. So it's very personalized, so you can go chapter by chapter and have your own personal experience in setting and achieving goals. And it's simple because it's repeatable, and that's really the key.
So everybody says take baby steps. Is that always true, baby steps?
In general, yes. Baby steps are the best way. Occasionally we have to take a jump, though, right? We have to leap into something we're not really comfortable with or we're not 100% sure about.
Yeah.
We have to take a little risk sometimes. But when you're establishing practice, baby steps are the best way to go.
And when you do those baby steps, you still have to have the courage to move forward because there are quite a bit of people out there competing for the same thing. How do you make yourself stand out to get noticed, to let everybody know you're the best?
Well, it's not sexy at all, but it's consistency, right? You have to show up consistently, and you have to execute consistently, and you have to take action daily. You can't just have an amazing day, and that was it.
I like that. Yeah, you got to do it every day. And I think if you do it every day, you get better at it. You just don't realize it until you look back at it and you say, "Oh, I got better." Okay, so the book is called Eyes on the Prize. Now, the subtitle, as I mentioned, A Kick-Ass Guide to Setting and Achieving Great Goals. And GREAT is printed as an acronym. What does it mean?
So GREAT stands for genuine, reachable, exact, affirmative, and totalitarian. And what I found working with my clients is that when you create your goal, when you make your goal statement, if you can create all those elements and include them, you're 80% more likely to achieve your goal.
Nice.
So I don't know if you studied SMART goals in school.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay. Well, SMART goals were created in the 80s, and they were kind of the gold standard for goal setting, and they were really great for corporate project management type goals. They were not so great for really big personal goals or genuinely self-motivated goals. They fell a little short. And so I revamped SMART goals and created great goals. The G stands for genuine, which means it's got to be self-motivated. You have to want it to achieve it. So if it's a goal that someone else gave you, you have to figure out a way to align it to your core values and beliefs.
Yeah.
To be willing to put the effort in.
Yeah, that
because
makes sense.
How many times has a doctor said, you need to take these medicines, or you need to lose weight, or a boss said, you need to hit this quota? We don't do it because we don't want to.
Are they different?
You have to want it to work.
Are they different for the female than the males?
So, in general, the female will adopt other people's goals more readily than men will. But that's only when we care about the person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And in a way, it makes me feel bad because I think sometimes a guy has his heart set on something and he's married and the wife has her heart set on something and then he gets a job in Denver or whatever and they end up moving and he's pursuing his dream and now she's kind of start over. That happens a lot. I mean, I know what happens in reverse too, but I think you hear about it more with the man following his dream.
Possibly, but in actuality, if you're married, your levels of success go up for both people, statistically speaking. So it's a win-win for everyone. But yeah, it's really difficult to hold other people's dreams in mind and your own as well. And what tends to happen is we sacrifice our own dreams for the practical.
So what does the R stand for again?
The R stands for reachable. And when I say reachable, I don't mean set an easy goal. I say set a big, huge, audacious, life-changing goal.
Yeah.
But when I say reachable, I mean, are you willing to put in the time and the energy and effort that will get you there? So the example I like to use is, say I wanted to be a concert violinist. I don't even play the violin, by the way.
Oh.
Is it possible? Now, I have some music skills. If I practiced a lot, it might be possible, right?
Yeah.
But if I said I want to be a concert violinist in a year, a little less possible. And then if I said I want to be a concert violinist in a year, but I am only going to practice an hour a week.
Does flexible matter? I know so many people who wanted to be rock stars or sports stars, and they still work. They ended up working in the field, but they weren't the guy on the stage, or they weren't a guy on the football field or the baseball diamond. So they worked in baseball or in music, but they were like in studios, and they weren't the stars. So in other words, they followed their dream, but the goal kind of became amended a little bit. And in order for them to accept a new goal, they had to be flexible.
Yeah, flexibility is key. I like flexibility when we're talking about strategy, because a lot of times if you set your goal and you create a plan and there's a hiccup in the plan, you have to be flexible to work around that challenge. Yeah. You have to be willing to come up with a new strategy. The people that you see who just slam against the wall time and time again are the people who are not willing to be flexible in their strategies.
But you're also helping people to be happy, and that's one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Right. And my personal belief is that happiness is really having purpose in your life.
Well,
right?
I love what you're doing, Carrie. For those of you who've ever wanted a professional coach to help you achieve your goals, the book will serve as a surrogate. If you can't, if you don't have the time or you can't afford a coach, the book will serve as a surrogate. I have a copy of Eyes on the Prize that Carrie wrote. Call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. I do have the cover of the book on the podcast. Let me make sure I did that right. Yes, there it is. If you want to get the book, I found it on Amazon. That's where I found the cover photo. So call me if you want that. The one that I have, go to Amazon to buy it. Do you have another website you can direct us to?
You can go to eyesontheprizebooks.com. You can get signed copies there, and you can also share your great goal with the community, because if you write down and share your goal, you're much more likely to achieve it. So use that tool.
What is your goal?
Interestingly enough, my next big goal is to do a TEDx talk. So if there's anyone out there listening that can help me with that.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, we have a TEDx lady right in town, but I think she does local TEDx's. You need one out in LA.
Or I will fly.
Nice.
Wait a minute. We might know somebody. Do you have to go to another interview, or can you talk to Robin off the air?
I can talk.
Okay, because Robin has a name. Okay, out in L.A. Out in L.A. too. A guy out in L.A. All right. Let's see. Carrie Williams. Thank you so much. The book again is called Eyes on the Prize. Don't go away, Carrie. I want you to talk to Robin off the air. We will take a little break, and we will be right back.
A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free Florida and America.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
On top of the world, Ocala's premier active adult community is a leader in the industry in both recreational activities and amenities. They utilize superior construction methods to deliver energy-efficient homes. Tune in Wednesday at 9 a.m. Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest to discuss all the exciting new things On Top of the World can offer to current and prospective new residents. So be sure to tune in Wednesday at 9 a.m. on Top of the World. You deserve the world.
The entire world watched. They watched each step down the rungs of that small ladder, one after another, and waited with great anticipation for that last step.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
At that moment, humanity saw the impossible become the possible. And today, the sky is not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Here are today's headlines from the source WOCA. Marion County issued a statement indicating that spraying for mosquitoes began last night. The sitting waters, as an after effect of Hurricane Irma, caused a larger mosquito population this year than normal. Because of the possibility that those mosquitoes could transmit disease, the county has teamed up with the state of Florida to help pay for the spraying, estimated to cost approximately $50,000. The county's portion of that expense is $5,000. Contractors will travel about 440 miles of roadway and release insecticide in an ultra-low volume spray, which will look like a fine mist that's released from equipment carried in the back of their pickup trucks, according to the release. A single mosquito trap in Ridge Manor near Tampa collected approximately